Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez the Psychic Witch and Bost the Cat. Formerly known as Bost the Kitten, and yes, Drake, more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person, is going to do a close-up of Bost the Cat. Look at how beautiful she is. I need to brush you again, I know, because you are such a furry animal. Look at how furry you are. Yeah, let me not get hairs on this. Anyway, so welcome to the official video, or rather the official video for the official entry of Llewellyn's 2025 Tarot Calendar, October 2025. If you don't mind, Boss, thank you. Okay, so this is the front cover. This is the back cover. Vanna is still keeping her job, I know. And for October, there is a spread, so you know what that means. So the focus is, appropriately, the Moon card from the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. Such an iconic image, right? Am I right? Okay, so we have a blurb about the Moon card. We have the crayfish symbol, and we have the Face Your Fears spread. And yes, I am going to use a tarot deck that was published by Los Carabeo, and as you may recall, Llewellyn Publications is the exclusive American and Canadian distributor for Los Carabeo decks, which is located in Torino, Italy. Oh, bye, Bost. I'll see you soon. Come back soon. Okay? All right, so the Moon card from the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. We have: the silver light of the moon is truly beautiful, but it also casts dark shadows that may play tricks on our minds. Remember that in moonlight, things may not be quite what they seem, and they may look differently. You know, years ago, I remember I was walking home at night, and I was wearing something blue. I was wearing a blue shirt, and I remember I was walking. It was definitely after 8 p.m. and it was definitely night. You know, it wasn't dusk, it wasn't sunset, it was night. And I happened to look down, and I'm like, it looks purple. And I was just surprised, because I'm like, it's a blue shirt. I mean, it was a light blue shirt. That was the other thing. It was a light blue shirt, and it looked so purple. And I was like, wow, that's so crazy. And I found that fascinating. So, you know, things may not look the same when it's in moonlight, as well as when it's in daylight. I still remember, I want to say it was one of the last calendars that the Barbara Moore wrote. And she wrote something about the Moon card, about how it's like doing a reading while you're drunk at 3 a.m. or something to that effect. I don't remember the exact phrasing, but that's the gist of it. So, you know, the moon has its own mysteries. The Moon card has its own mysteries. And sometimes the Moon card presents itself differently than how we would think it does. You know, I've always found it interesting that one of the traditional non-mystical meanings of the Moon card is one that I've used in readings with clients, and that is beware of deception and betrayal. And that's a very mundane situation. That's not a mystical situation. That's not a situation that calls for dealing with another person's issues. It would be like more along the lines of being betrayed by divinity or being betrayed by one's spirits, because the major arcana correspond to the mystical, to the spiritual forces, not to, you know, dirty-ass bitches that want to take your man and shit like that. That's more along the lines of like a swords card or certain cups cards, but not the Moon card. Anyway, so the crayfish. It was believed that crayfish time their molting period with the phase of the moon. When they shed their shells, they are vulnerable to attack, just as we may feel raw and exposed when we face the unknown. There is a fear that I had for years, and that is the fear of the unknown. And it took me a long time to get to the point where I am not afraid of the unknown like I used to be. Does it still cause me concern? Sometimes it does, but not a lot of times. Not to the degree that I had a fear of the unknown. So let me talk to you about the Face Your Fears spread. And I will read this while I'm shuffling the cards of one of my favorite Lo Scarabeo decks, which is one of the few decks that have been renamed that I don't like its new name. So the original name for this deck is the Witchy Tarot. It was renamed to the Teen Witch Tarot. I really don't like that name. So I refuse to call it by its current name. I only call it by its original name. So, Face Your Fears spread. These days, the spooky season is mostly about fun and games, or more properly, trick or treat. But a great part of Halloween's appeal is the way that it can make us confront our fears, sending a shiver down our spine and reminding us that we are still alive. If there is something you are afraid of that you would like to confront, this spread may help you separate reality from fantasy and point you toward a plan of action. For the first position, you can either pull a card from your deck at random or select one intentionally to represent the subject of your dread. It is a 4-card spread. Card number 1 is your fear, the genesis of your unease. Card number 2 is the genuine. This is the aspect of your fear you should legitimately be concerned with. Card number 3 is the illusion. This is the false aspect of your fear that is clouding your judgment and that you should try to release. And card number 4 is Metamorphosis. This is the best path for you to take This is the best path for you to take to transform your fear so that it no longer has any power over you. Don't be surprised if bright and happy cards appear in the spread. They can point to what we want but are afraid to let ourselves have, or to those things we are terrified of losing. So, I call upon my ancestors and the spirits, and I cast these cards on behalf of the collective. May everything that is revealed in this casting of cards be accurate and true to the best of my abilities, and may it inspire those who watch this video to move forward in all of their endeavors and in all of their goals, challenges, desires, and dreams, and guide them to their best move forward. By moon and sea, and so mote it be. Okay, so card number 1, and it is in a diamond pattern. Card number 2, card number 3, card number 4, and then I will put this to the side for the moment, but the bottommost card will be the final message card. I'm going to check in with Drake really quick. So Drake, this can be seen, correct? Okay, thank you. So card number 1, the collective sphere, the genesis, the beginning of your unease. It is the 7 of Cauldrons, more commonly known as the 7 of Cups. So the first thing that I'm getting is overwhelmed. Overwhelmed by who's helping you, who's not helping you, who's working against you, the different goals, the different tasks, the different things that need to get done, the different things and people that are pulling your attention, the things that are mundane and necessary, the things that are not required or necessary, but they're still dominating your heart. It's a cauldrons card, it's a cups card, so it's dominating your heart. It's in your heart. Okay. Card number 2, the genuine. This is the aspect of your fear you should legitimately be concerned with. So this is the aspect of the collective's fear that is the genuine concern. And that is the Chariot. So the Chariot is basically saying that you cannot remain stuck. You cannot allow fear to keep you stuck, to keep you frozen. You need to move forward. Some of you may need to literally move. Some of you have already been thinking about literally moving out of the city, state, town, maybe even country or even continent where you currently live. But this is basically saying it is imperative you move forward. And that fear of remaining stuck is not serving you. And in fact, it could cause your demise. So trust and know that by you choosing to move forward, no matter what, you choosing to free yourself from this stuck, frozen, trapped situation will absolutely help you overcome all of the obstacles and barriers, no matter how many odds may be against you at this time. Card number 3, the illusion. This is the false aspect of your fear that is clouding your judgment and that you should try to release. So this is the illusion. This is the thing that you think is real. Hello, boss. Welcome back. This is the thing that you think is real, but it's an illusion. And that is, oh, you knocked over a card. And she's being cute because she knows what she did. Isn't that right? Of course it is. The Fool. The Fool. So the illusion is that you're going to fall off the cliff. The illusion is that you're going to die. The illusion is that you are going to absolutely fail. That's the illusion. And I love how this witch is being pulled by a goat. This goat is climbing the mountain, and the witch is holding the goat's tail. And of course, I find this symbolic because my sun sign is Capricorn. Isn't that right, Boss? Boss doesn't care. About that, she doesn't care. Okay. Metamorphosis. This is the best take 2. Card number 4, Metamorphosis. This is the best path for you to take to transform your fear so that it no longer has any power over you. And that is the sun. The sun. So allow yourself to be radiant. Allow yourself to shine, to sparkle, to glow. Allow yourself to absorb light. Allow yourself to radiate the light that you absorb. Allow yourself to radiate that light. To trust that there is more than enough of your light to share, to spare, to shine, to glow. And, you know, for those of you who may be new to my YouTube channel, I'm not one of those love and light, new age witches that's like, oh, you can't hex a rapist. Oh, no, you shouldn't hex a pedophile. No, I'm not one of those bitches. I'm not one of those stupid witch bitches. Just so you know, especially if you're new to my YouTube channel. So if you think that I'm one of those, you got the wrong witch bitch. Just FYI. Okay? So this is, and I love that this witch is riding a donkey. Está montando el burro. I gotta talk some Spanglish because I'm of Cuban origin and we are in Hispanic Heritage Month. This is the second day, in fact. Last day is October 15th, just so you know. And the final message card is the Devil. Here's what's interesting. I shuffled this deck so thoroughly. And we have 4 major arcana cards that are part of this reading. And the only one that is not a major arcana card is a cauldrons card. It's a cups card. So here's what I'm finding. And of course, one of the things, actually, for those of you who have not had a reading with me in a while, you may not recall, I tend to focus on polar opposite energy. So it just so happens that right now, the sun is in Virgo. The most recent full moon was a full moon and lunar eclipse in Pisces. Pisces is not only the polar opposite of Virgo, it is a water sign. The cups, the cauldrons, correspond to the water signs. It is also interesting to note that this Sunday, September 21st, is the date of the new moon and solar eclipse in Virgo. So here's what I'm getting from this card. So the Devil card for me is almost always intuitively about allowing yourself to be consumed by your fears and insecurities. Whether it's about money, whether it's about sex, whether it's about relationships, romantic or otherwise, whether it's about friendships, family. But because money and sex are 2 very Capricornian foci, meaning topics of focus and interest for a sun sign Capricorn, and I'm somebody that has 3 planets in Capricorn, so I know this. There's almost this, and that's at the core. That's like at the bare basic minimum, like money worries, sex worries, financial worries, professional worries, romantic worries, physiological worries and concerns. So that's one of the things that I'm sensing is the underlying issue. Because remember, the final message card is almost always the bottommost card in the remaining deck. So because it's a 4-card spread, and because this tarot deck, like many tarot decks, has 78 cards, this is technically the 74th card. Because here are the 4 cards, 78 minus 4 is 4. So this is card number 74. Not in the spread, not in the deck, if you were to go in order, but still, this is the 74th card. So what I'm getting from this card is 2 things. Number 1, address and acknowledge those underlying fears and insecurities you have, number 1. And number 2, really look at what you can do to overcome those challenges, to help you transform and transcend those fears and insecurities. And sometimes doing so is not obvious. Sometimes it's not like, oh, well, if I want to lose weight, I'll eat more raw fruits and vegetables and I'll walk 20 miles a day. Sometimes it's about letting go of this image that you're fat, or letting go of this image that you cannot successfully lose weight. I'm using weight loss as an example, just FYI, because I am not a medical practitioner, I am not a medical professional, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a personal fitness trainer, I'm not any one of those things that would require a medical degree or an anatomical degree of some kind, or certification. I'm just using weight loss as an example. So, that's the casting of this cards. Obviously, Bast the cat is unmoved. She's more moved by me giving her cuddles and pets and strokes and scritches than she is about the reading. Hopefully you will be more impressed by the reading, because she's certainly not. Anyway, so I hope this reading made a difference for you. I hope the casting of these cards made a difference for you. If you would like more information about my psychic services, by all means, email me at the email address, which will appear like magic. I love doing that. I so love doing that. Isn't that right, Bast? Like magic. Mwah. like magic. It just shows up like magic. I want to thank Antonella Platano, who illustrated this beautiful tarot deck. I actually have every tarot deck she's illustrated. There are some that I have not been able to find and would be perfect to use at this time of the year, but that's another story. And of course, I also want to thank Maria Carati. I believe that's the person who wrote the guidebook. I'll include it in the description box for this video. Of course, I want to thank Lo Scarabeo in Torino, Italy for publishing this deck. I want to thank Llewellyn Publications for not only being the exclusive American and Canadian distributor for Lo Scarabeo decks, but I want to thank them for continuing to publish the Llewellyn's tarot calendars. And yes, I already have my copy of the 2026 edition, which will be the next video we're recording after this one. So, as always, hello, and thank you to Christopher Harrington, who now writes the insights, spreads, and tips for Llewellyn's tarot calendars. And of course, as always, thank you to all of you in YouTube land for all the likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions to my YouTube channel. And of course, an extra big and beautiful and bountiful thank you to those of you who have already scheduled your sessions with me. I'm looking forward to the private video reading that I'm doing this Friday. I'm very excited about the grand opening of a vintage clothing store in Hoboken, New Jersey, which I have not been to since 2022. This Saturday, I'm also looking forward to the upcoming Moon, Serpent, and Bone night markets, the Hispanic Heritage Mercadito, in Union City, New Jersey, and of course, anything else that comes up. So as always, stay in tune with your intuition, stay safe, stay well, stay hydrated, and stay tuned for the next video. Isn't that right, boss? Yes.